Hey, I'm waiting for the. Okay. Hello. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have Mitzi joining us today. If you can see, Mitzi is very excited to join us. She came down very promptly. She's here. She's a part of this today. Oh boy. Okay. Hello. All right. Let me make sure I can see the chat. Hi. Hello. Hello. Okay, so whether you are watching this live or on the replay on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or inside of the Positive Pulse, I am so glad that you're here. Go ahead and say hi in the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. So today's topic is one of that I think that we all need, and maybe we don't realize it, like all the things that I talk about, right? And I'm gonna say something that maybe sounds weird, but have you ever felt like you are going through the motions, but actually life is technically fine, right? Like you're doing the things, you're meeting the obligations, maybe even smiling at the right moments. New Mexico, hello. And like everything is just flat though, right? Doing the things, everything's technically fine. Like maybe you even kind of like on paper everything's fine, right? And it's just that something is missing. Something's missing. You can't quite name it, even maybe. You're not sure exactly, but it's just not quite right. So, if you've been feeling like that, let us know. I want to make sure that this chat is working on the YouTube. Here we go. All right. Fantastic. Going through the motions like a slinky, going through the motions. If you've ever felt like you've been on autopilot, drop a heart in the chat. And let's just be honest here together today. Just be real. And it's not you. This is human. This is a human thing that we experience with being on autopilot. And maybe like, what's a word that might show up for you that's a little different that might describe this as well? Maybe autopilot feels to you like numb or disassociated or overwhelmed or bored. And personally, I have felt that way more times than I can count. All right. Like, I don't know. I think that we are always looking for this like one example of a story that is like, oh, well, that was the thing. That was the one time that I did that. That was the one time that things happened, and then I figured it out, and then I lived my life ever better ever since then. And like whenever I get interviewed for a podcast or any kind of interview, they're like, what was the one pinnacle moment that things happened? And I'm like, I no, that's not how things work. That's literally not what happens. So what I'm trying to say is that I think a lot of people assume that once you find joy again or have a breakthrough of some kind, that it stays that way forever. But the truth is that like this dull, disconnected feeling comes back if we don't tend to it. Because the thing is that like without systems in place that spark novelty and nurture our body and our brain, we are creating we if we're not creating opportunities for connection, if we are not contributing to something bigger than ourselves, if we're not creating these happiness habits, that stuck feeling will creep back in. So we end up feeling kind of stuck, right? And if we don't take care of it, it kind of just stays at this meh feeling, that slow dissociation. We descend into this autopilot existence, and it can deepen into something a lot heavier, like dissociation, like isolation, like loneliness, like anxiety, depression, and memory loss, fatigue, sleep issues, impaired performance, right? And research also shows that disconnection and loneliness are linked. And if you have them, you get higher rates of inflammation and heart disease and mental health challenges and also chronic loneliness. I think you probably have heard this at this point, has the same impact on our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So it's like when we're disconnected from our joy and from others, we're also disconnected from ourselves. And that's where I have been multiple times. And I didn't need a productivity hack. That's the thing that I think that a lot of people think that they need. They need something that's gonna like make it easier to cut all of this off. And that's not really what we need. What we need is to remember what it's like to feel alive, what it's like to feel like ourselves. And that's exactly why I created the Positive Pulse, because we need more than just a temporary fix. We need a proactive system for staying connected to what lights us up, what grounds us, and what helps us feel like we're part of something. And I want it to be something that's free. So the Positive Pulse is completely free. And it helps you if you're in a dark place, for sure. But it's also like, if you're on the floor emotionally, if you're just struggling to start, we definitely have resources for that. We're ready for you there. Mitzi's ready. But if you are also in a place where you're like, I'm ready for things to, I don't, let me phrase it like this. It's also here with the intention so that this doesn't happen again. Okay, so too often we're only really eating our vegetables after we have the heart attack, right? We are a very reactive culture. We're very reactive society. So if you're on the floor emotionally, we've got you. We're ready to pick you back up. We always need a life raft to help ourselves. But we also want to make sure that you're able to get back up or not have to get back up repeatedly over and over because it's exhausting. So we don't want to have to only eat our vegetables after the heart attack. We want to have a system so that we don't have a heart attack and we prevent it in the first place. We don't need to be fanatics. We just kind of got to think about like maybe if we had made a slight shift earlier, then things would have been a little different, Maybe things would have just been a little bit different. And if we would have taken that one walk, had that one vegetable added to our diet, maybe we would have prevented the entire thing. And that is what I want to do with happiness. That is what I want to do with mental health. That is what I want to do with your life satisfaction, with your connection to being alive. Okay. And the best part is that I really have so many ways to help you start eating your metaphorical happiness vegetables today. I can help you start that today with little shifts, joyful sparks, slight adjustments that make a huge difference over time. Welcome. Yes, you don't worry about being late. There's no pressure with any of this. Come as you are when you're ready. And did I mention that this is completely free? It's completely free. Okay, so before I tell you more about the Positive Pulse, I want to give you something valuable no matter what, whether you decide to join us, which I don't understand why you wouldn't because it's free, but there's 3 things that you can do today to start shifting out of that stuck autopilot mode and get back into your life. And I also want to remind you that simple is good. Don't overlook the simple. Don't overlook the 101. Don't overlook the things that you're like, well, that's too basic. Your body needs basic. Your brain wants basic. You want simple implementation. So these are small, but they matter. 1, change your sensory input. Turn on a different playlist. Don't listen to things that are sad. Don't listen to things that are angry or aggressive. Try something completely different that's feel good, uplifting, instrumental, classical. I don't know. Listen to a different genre. Light a candle with a scent that you haven't used in a while. Open up a window. Your brain needs novelty. And even tiny changes in your environment can wake up your senses and signal like, hey, we're alive today. Number 2, name something that you're curious about. So curiosity is a spark. You don't need to do anything with it. You just kind of need to notice it about yourself. So what's something that you have wondered about lately? A random animal fact, a weird invention, a hobby that someone else is doing that maybe you don't even want to do, but you just want to know more about it? Curiosity pulls you out of numbness and into aliveness. Research it, look into it. And 3, connect on purpose. Send a voice memo to a friend, comment on something on someone else's post. Comment here. If you're here, comment, even if you're on the replay. Leave a silly sticky note for one of your roommates or friends. Drive there and go there. And, you know, really just intentional connection, even if it's brief, restores our sense of belonging and reminds us that we're not floating here alone. If you're in Baltimore, come over to the virtual mixer, or sorry, the in-person mixer in next week, or tomorrow we're having Operation Merriment in person. There's still a couple tickets left. And we also have virtual mixers in the Merriment, in the Positive Pulse. There's always ways to connect. Okay, so those are 3 tips. Change your sensory input, name something you're curious about and explore it, and connect on purpose. And, like, these are the kinds of things that we practice inside of the Positive Pulse. Little doable joy nudges that don't require you to overhaul your entire life. Just 60 seconds to say, hey, I'm alive. I'm still here. So the Positive Pulse is hosted on a new platform that I love so much that I have decided to move my entire business over there by the end of 2025. And it works beautifully on both a desktop and in your phone as an app. It has events that sync right to your calendar. It gives you seamless access to other members, my other programs. It's like this cozy digital merriment clubhouse built for joy and connection. And inside, there's already 75 free resources in categories like mental health, self-love, happiness habits, body love, caregiver and burnout support, creating joy, and spreading joy. And we host at least 3 live events every month, from workshops to meetups to group chats. And you're not just joining a group, you're entering a merriment making movement. I want this to be a household thing. Mitzi's still here. I love that. I love that for you. So in terms of getting unstuck, if that's the theme that you're interested in, there are specific resources in there that you can focus on. So like, when thinking positive just doesn't help, that's in there. That's for free. You're not broken, you're bored. That's in there. That's for free. When getting better sounds like too much work, what to do when you don't care about anything, how to build happy habits in 5 minutes a day, 5 tips for burnout, how to get off autopilot, 10 things to do if you just can't start, 21 tips for creating new neural pathways and habits. There's so much in there for you for free. It's crazy. And to officially celebrate the birthday of Positive Pulse, we're kicking things off with a 1-minute joy challenge that lasts for 7 days. So basically, it's one joyful, accessible, practical tip every day for an entire week. It only takes 60 seconds or less for you to do. And these are the kinds of prompts that can flip a switch in your brain and give your nervous system a little sigh of relief, or hype you up and connect you to something good, right? And it only takes 60 seconds, all right? There is neuroscience behind this too. Novelty activates your brain's reward system, which boosts dopamine, it enhances memory, and it increases motivation, which is why tiny joy moments matter. They matter. They're not frivolous. They matter. And it starts on April 7th, the actual challenge. The 7-day challenge starts on April 7th. So you want to make sure that you get inside the Positive Pulse for free, because that's the only place that you're going to be able to get the challenge. So if you've been feeling a little off, a little lost, a little disconnected, a little dull, I hope you'll come join us. This is your sign to build your joy system now, to start eating your happiness vegetables now and not have the happy heart attack later. And the link to join is in the description, wherever you are. The link is in my bio. It's at uncustomary.org. But if you want me to say it out loud, it's uncustomary.org/positive-pulse. And once you're in, you'll get all the details about upcoming events. The 7-day challenge, like I said, begins April 7th, but really all month long is going to be a positive party. So to clarify, if you think you've already joined, like the old version that was on a dashboard in a desktop with the yellow background that you could only access on a desktop, this is new. This is different. It's in an app. It's fancy. It can send you push notifications and daily digest emails. You can RSVP to an event directly in an app and connect it to your calendar. You can you want to make sure you're able to access the app to know what I'm talking about. Because if you are only over on the yellow dashboard, you're not accessing what I'm talking about. This is new. If you joined the Positive Pulse and Facebook group like 5 months ago, this is different. There's actually over 100 of you who signed up on the old dashboard who have not migrated over to the new platform, and I want you to do that. So we've been doing a soft launch of this iteration of the Positive Pulse, and there's over 70 people in there already, but starting April 1st, it is officially launched. And if you join by the end of the month, by the end of April, you're going to get so many fun surprises. Honestly, we've been planning this for a while behind the scenes. There are props, badges, giveaways, live videos, challenges, rewards, resources, and it's literally all free. It's all free. So pay attention. And the best way to do that is to join Positive Pulse and keep those notifications on. So before you go, tell me in the chat, what's one thing you wish you had more of in your daily life right now? Because, like, name it with me, because I'm paying attention. Yesterday, I posted a poll and I asked what was the main thing that was stopping you from adding more joy to your life. And the majority of people said that it was because they were too tired. And that surprised me. I thought it was going to be stress. So what I'm doing is now I'm adding in an event, a resource, to tell you my favorite biohacking tips for maximizing your sleep hygiene and increasing your energy throughout the day. Okay? Because I'm always learning. I am a student of this as well. And I practice on myself. The amount of products that I buy and return and try and guinea pig on myself, that is part of my job in this world. Okay? So I have resources for you in this area. And if that's something that you need, I am here for it. So ask and you just might receive. So the question again is, what is one thing you wish you had more of in your daily life right now? And I might just make you a resource for it, okay? And remember that when one person raises their hand, at least 3 more people have a question about that exact same thing. All right, so that's pretty much it. You know what, before we go, what I'd like to do actually is I'm going to show you the dashboard, so you can get a little feel for it. Actually, if you're on Instagram, you're not going to be able to see it. So I guess on Instagram, I'm going to sign off. And if you want to tune in on YouTube, you can do that. But I love you on Instagram, and I will see you later. Join the Positive Pulse, uncustomary.org/positive-pulse. I will see you in there. Okay, now if we are on YouTube or Facebook or in the Positive Pulse, then here we go. I'm gonna show you what the dashboard looks like just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Because before, here's what it looked like, actually. Let me show you. Before, it kind of looked like this, and you had like the free resources, and it was great, but you scroll down like this, and it was like each page had a landing page, right? Okay, it's different now. So you'll notice if you try to log in, it says, we have moved, join us, right? Okay, so if you try to join us, it'll take you over to this app. Now, when you come over, it has a welcome page. It shows you when you watch this video exactly how to navigate this new platform, which is called Mighty Networks. And then it walks you through if you want to know where to start, here to start. Look, see how it says live right here? That's crazy. That's so cool. Because you know why? Because we have events. We have events, and you can literally RSVP to upcoming events. That's super cool. And you can connect it to your calendar immediately based on what you're RSVP'd to. Okay, there's a feed where I can post. There's a chat where you can post. There's a place where you can learn about me. There's a place where you can actually get 25% off if you give a review of this towards either of my memberships. Okay, and here's what you want. You want the library. Okay, so as I said, there's all of these categories, right? And we also even have 5-day classes, full 5-day classes. So like this, Jumpstart Your Joy and Happy Year. So these are multiple day classes with like multiple resources inside of each day, each lesson. But then we have all of these resources inside of the mental health category, inside of the self-love category, inside of happiness, happiness habits, body love, burnout and caregivers, spreading joy, creating joy, pep talks. Okay. And these are happening like at more being added every week. All right. So I want you to come check this out. You get badges. Like this whole thing is wonderful. It's really wonderful. So that's really what's happening. And I hope that that is helpful to kind of understand the difference between the two and the previous version and the new iteration. And yes, okay, let me make sure that I can see the chat now. You don't see the link in the description. Okay, I'll type it in here. There you are, hun. And consistency. Okay, great. Perfect. And as you are watching the replay and coming through, please just add your answers to the question in, and we will take care of your requests at some point. I want to make sure that everybody's taken care of. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much it. I promised 20 minutes to keep it quick on your feet, to keep your day quick. And I believe that I have succeeded in that. And like I said, join the Positive Pulse. There's going to be new stuff happening all the time. uncustomary.org/positive-pulse. I will go through back with all the replays and make sure that the link is added in all of them. But you can also just go to uncustomary.org and find it there. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, leave them for me in the chat or DM me. And I love you. And I hope that you have a great rest of your... Oh, Mitzi's got her butt to us now. Mitzi, that is not nice. Would you like to say goodbye? Got glitter on your tush. You want to sign off? You say goodbye? You say, well, join the Positive Pulse. We got free stuff for you. We want everybody to feel good so they can do good. Right?